With rising oil prices, the demand for electric mobility has taken a huge step, at least here in Austria, the past couple of weeks. Are you one of the installers who feel this demand from your customers, or probably you are someone who wants to buy an electric car in the near future and you're looking for a wall box? Then this webinar is exactly the right place for you. A very warm welcome. Welcome to this Fronius webinar, Understanding and Getting the Most Out of the Wattpilot. In this webinar, I want to give you the basics about the Wattpilot, everything you and your customers need to know at the very first glance when they are buying our Wattpilot. My name is Max. I'm part of the Fronius Solar Trainings team, and I have the honor to speak you through this webinar today. By my side is my colleague Magda. She's taking care of your questions. So if you have any, please feel free to ask while I'm speaking. What will this webinar be about? So 3 points basically. First of all, we are taking a look at the Wattpilot interface, at the Wattpilot surface. I want to explain the LED ring and the display, how to read it correctly, and what you get if you're looking at the Wattpilot. Secondly, we're talking about the charging modes, probably the most important things. So what is the eco mode, the next trip modes? How can you take advantage of flexible electricity rates? We will all see that. And finally, I want to conclude with the Wattpilot app. So there is an app for the Wattpilot where you can do all the settings, and with which also you can change the charging mode, and yeah, you will see, and also generating a bill is also a big thing. You will see that in the end. So first of all, let's start with the Wattpilot interface. And before that, maybe let's take a look at the current Wattpilot portfolio. So what are we talking about? In our portfolio, there is the Wattpilot Go still. It comes in 2 different versions, 11 kilowatt and 22 kilowatt. It is our mobile solution that you can take away with you. I like to say this is the product for the bargain hunters. If you are, I don't know, at Christmas, you're going to family and friends and you want to charge your car not in the public station, but at the private spot of your family, then perfect, take the Wattpilot Go and you can use a CE plug wherever you find it. Jokes aside, Wattpilot Go is a good solution for everyone who has various charging locations, let's say a house on the beach, whatever, and then you just take the Wattpilot with you. And you can take advantage of the Wattpilot app and all the charging modes also on the run. One disadvantage of the Wattpilot Go is that it just comes with a Wi-Fi connection, so it cannot communicate via LAN cable, but only via Wi-Fi. This is sometimes an issue in garages or in parking spots. And there we already get to a point that we improved with the new Wattpilot Flex. The Wattpilot Flex Home, or the Wattpilot Flex comes in 2 versions, Home and Pro. Again, 11 and 22 kilowatt. And as I said, it has a LAN connection and a Wi-Fi connection, and it is our stationary solution. So not for to go, it is fixed on the wall and comes with a 6-meter Type 2 cable. As I said, 11 and 22 kilowatt version. For most appliances, the 11 kilowatt version is absolutely enough. If you're an electric car driver, then you might know it also depends on the car if they can use 22 kilowatt AC side or not, and many cars can't. So in most cases, 11 kilowatt is enough. The Flex Home and the Flex Pro are basically the identical product, except for one difference. The Flex Pro has an MID counter integrated. So if you need an official bill in a public station, for a public charging station, for example, or if a company wants to generate an official bill for the employees, then the Wattpilot Pro is can do that. And besides that, the Wattpilot Pro comes in black and the Home in white. You can't choose the color. Home is white and black is Pro. All the Wattpilot Flex solutions are already on the market, except for the Wattpilot Flex Pro 22 kilowatt version. This one will come in September this year. If we're speaking of charging modes and abilities, then the Wattpilot Flex is exactly the same as the Wattpilot Go. So what are the differences? It's the looks are different. You see the LED ring on the front cover and also the small display. We will come to that in a minute. This is what the Wattpilot Go didn't have. And as I said, connection got improved. We do have the LAN connection, not just the Wi-Fi connection. The Wattpilot is more an end customer product than an inverter, for example. An inverter is somewhere hidden in a technical room, garage, wherever, somewhere you probably don't pass every day. The Wattpilot isn't, probably somewhere close to the car, a device that also the customer sees every day, and hence the design is important, and this was a big step that we improved in comparison to the predecessor. Let's go to the front cover of the Wattpilot Flex. So obviously there's this LED ring, and the colors of the LED ring, they show where the energy is coming from when it's charging. If this LED ring is yellow, then this means electricity is coming from the roof for charging. If it is green, then electricity comes from the battery. And if it's gray, then this means comes from the grid. On the upper half, you see the RFID reader or the reading area. With the Wattpilot Flex come 2 RFID chips, and up to 10 RFID chips can be read of the Wattpilot. We can set up accounts for different names, and so if we want to track which customer is charging how many kilowatt hours, then they can identify themselves with these RFID chips, hold it in front of the RFID reading area, and then the charging process is connected to their profile. In the middle, you see the capacitive buttons for the charging modes. On the very left, there is the standard mode. We will come to the modes in a minute, what they are doing and when to use what. In the middle, there's the eco mode, and on the right-hand side, there is the next trip mode. In general, the idea is that the customer or you as an EV owner, you come home, you get off the car, and then you are plugging your car to the Wattpilot, and this is the moment where you choose the charging mode, and depending on your future plans on when you want to move your car again, you're choosing which mode you're taking. And below you see the display. Similar, you might remember from the Snap Inverter series, we also there had a display on the device itself, and so at one side, our customers can get some information directly off the Wattpilot and not just with the Wattpilot app. You see 3 kinds of information there. First of all, the kilowatt that are charged currently. Secondly, the kilowatt hours that are charged in this session. And thirdly, the kilowatt hours that are charged in total of the whole lifetime of the Wattpilot. This is exactly the same with Wattpilot Flex Home and Wattpilot Flex Pro. In that sense, they are completely identical except for the color. Let's go to the charging modes. So as I said, the idea is customer comes home, plugs his car. And the first mode he could choose is the standard mode. For the standard mode means that there are different levels of charging power, and with the standard mode, our customer can select the how fast he wants to have charged his car. So he can set up the steps. He can say step 1 is 10 amps, as you see here. Step 2 is 16 amps. Step 3 is 20 amps. Step 4, 24, and step 5 is 32 amps. And depending on how much he touches, how many times he touches the standard mode button, this level of charging is chosen. I would call it the fast charging mode. So probably the use case is a customer comes home and he wants to have his car charged fast, in a fast way, because in, I don't know, in a couple of hours he again will go somewhere, and then he doesn't want to depend on surplus that is coming from the roof, but he wants to just have charged it faster. And so obviously for the standard mode is independent of any surplus and also independent of a PV system. The Wattpilot can also be used without a PV system, and in that case, the standard charging mode is used. So this is mode number 1. Let's call it the fast charging mode. Mode number 2, the eco mode. I call it the summer mode. Eco mode means it's pure surplus charging. So only surplus is used, no power from the grid. In the slide you see, and this is could be a production curve. This is a snip out of SolarWeb. Violet is the power that goes into the Wattpilot. So violet is the color of the Wattpilot. And as you see, more or less exactly the surplus is taken and is used for charging. So again, the customer gets home, charges his car, and they know, I won't go away, I don't know, in the next couple of days. It's totally enough if every now and then I'm getting some surplus, and this is charged into the car, and in a couple of days it will be recharged fully again. This is the use case for the eco mode. So perfect in summer means almost no costs for charging the car. And thirdly, there is the next trip mode. And the next trip mode I would call the winter mode. It's again pure surplus charging, but people can set a kilowatt-hour target for a specific time. For example, they could say, I need 20 kilowatt hours in my car by 6 a.m. Having said that, the Wattpilot is only taking surplus, and whatever is left for the 20 kilowatt hours is charged off the grid. And the Wattpilot makes sure that at latest 1 hour before the specific time, the car is fully charged. So in that case, charging begins so that the 20 kilowatt hours are charged by 5 a.m. at the latest. Why is this a winter mode? In winter, we might not have enough surplus for charging the car. Still, people might want to go to work and need a minimum of charging amount in their car. And so they might say, perfect, let's take all the surplus that is available, and whatever that is missing, please charge from the grid. And last but not least, people could use flexible tariffs with the Wattpilot. Using flexible tariffs is independent of all the other charging modes. So also if they select eco mode or if they select next trip mode, they can use flexible tariffs anyway. They can set a price threshold below which charging should occur. So you see below, this is a screenshot of electricity price development over a day. You see, I think this was the 2nd of August in Austria, so quite recent. And you see we have rather high prices in the morning times, and then from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. it's below 2 cents per kilowatt hour. We could, for example, set a price threshold of 2 cents, and this would mean the Wattpilot starts charging at 10 a.m. and stops at 4 p.m. Independent of eco mode, next trip mode, whatever. Available electricity rates are all ENZO rate zones. This is mostly goes with country borders. For example, we could choose Austria ENZO rate zone. And on the right, you see the interface of the Wattpilot app. So this is how it looks like. If we go to settings, and we will see that in a minute, we go to tariff, then use flexible tariff, eco mode price limit, so of which limit charging should start, and there we set the country and the zone. So let's see, how does it look like in the Wattpilot app? As I said, there is an app for having control of all the settings and everything you want to control with the Wattpilot. And the Wattpilot has a lot of features, and I will not go into every one of them in this webinar. I just want to leave it with the very basics. So those things where I say this is what an end customer should know once they're receiving a Wattpilot, and once they want to get started with charging their electric vehicle. For further features, I want to refer to another webinar that is already on our YouTube channel, and there you find the settings for example, for how to interact a PV system with Wattpilot and OnPilot, battery, and how to do those settings, so probably the more advanced settings. But as I said, for this webinar, we leave it at the basics. Once we open the Wattpilot app, we get to the home screen. And at the home screen, we see what we would also see with the LED rings on the device itself, we also see in the app. So we see on the top the energy source, so currently where's the power coming from. In that case, 1.3 kilowatt are coming from the battery, 5.5 kilowatt are coming from the sun, and from the grid, 3.6 kilowatt are coming. We see the energy source, and we also see the charging status. That case, at the moment, 10.4 kilowatt charged. This is equal, in that case, with the connected car, it's equal to 58 kilometers per hour. In total, in this session, a distance of 47.2 kilometers has been charged, and in total, an energy amount of 8.5 kilowatt hours. If we scroll a bit lower, then we also get to the charging modes. So this is also what you find directly on the home screen. You find the standard mode, the eco mode, and the next trip mode. And in the app, you can choose which mode you want to have. So you can do that either directly on the device or in the app at any time. So selecting the charging modes here, and below you can select the charging speed for the standard mode. If you tap on charging speed, then you get to the screen we saw before. So to the various charging levels, amp levels that have been set for the standard mode. If we go to history, so one step to the right, then there we see all the charging history. In this screenshot here, no charging data is available for the selected period. The reason is that this is one of our dummy Wattpilots. Usually you would also see statistics of day, week, month, and also custom statistics similar to SolarWeb. Below you see the total energy that has been charged in the whole lifetime. And if you tap on consumption per chip, so this red square is a bit too high. If you tap on consumption per chip, then you get to this screen here, and then you see for every chip the consumption. Let's say this is a household, and you see in total it's 240 watt hours. Again, those, as I said, the Wattpilot's a dummy device. let's say there is one household member called Hans and 2 other members, and then you see who has taken how much of the kilowatt hours. If you tap on export a report of the charging session for a specific time period, then you get to the download portal. And in the download portal, you can also download an Excel file or a CSV file with all the charging data. This is important. This is available for Wattpilot Flex Home and Flex Pro. So also with Home, you get all those download data and all the statistics. The only difference is the Pro is a certified official, or can generate a certified official bill, and the Home can't. So for private users, the Wattpilot Home is totally enough, and also within a household, it is easy to associate the charging amounts to the various household members. And last but not least, if we go to settings to the very right, then you see obviously all kinds of settings you can do. In this webinar, I will only go to the first 2, charging and display, and access, safety and grid services, all the other options. Again, I want to point out the other webinar that you will find on YouTube. Those are more advanced settings, probably more for the installer. And if you're interested in that, then please watch this webinar. If we tap on charging, then we get to this screen, and then we can set the options for charging. We can set up a scheduler. We can limit the charging times for work days, for Saturdays and Sundays. So for work days in general, and separated from that for Saturdays and Sundays. When does that make sense? Let's say you have a flexible tariff and the prices in the evening are usually high, then you don't want to have your Wattpilot charging your vehicle in the evening times, and then you can set here disable charging time between, I don't know, 4 in the evening and 9 in the evening. And as I said, you can differ those settings for workdays, Saturdays and Sundays. If we tap on current levels, this is for the standard mode. This is where we enter the levels of the standard mode. So in that case, level 1 is 10 amps, level 2, 16 amps, level 3, 20 amps, level 4, 24 amps. So we can change that as we want. As I said, the capacitive button of the standard mode, if we press it once, touch it once, then it's level 1. If we touch it twice, it's level 2, 3 times, level 3, and so on and so forth. The other options, again, I will not go into that, but might be also interesting for you. So vehicle options are charging options for your vehicle. There is a standard charging option, and usually this will be fine for your electric vehicle. There is also a list of vehicles where we have specific charging settings. Usually those are older electric cars. And if you find your car in this list, then please select your car, and then you should be good to go, and the settings are good. If you don't find your car in this list, then just go for the standard settings, and you should also be fine. And below, settings for PV surplus. This is again for other kind of webinar. And the tariff settings, this is where we were before, where you can set the price threshold for charging. And if we go to display, then we get to this screen, and I think it's more or less self-explaining. Name is this name on top here, the name of your Wattpilot. Brightness is obviously the brightness of the LED ring. You can also change the LED colors. There you have endless options. You can make the LED ring being pink or being violet or whatever color you like, and you can also enter the time zone. We get to an end of this webinar. Let me sum up what this webinar was about. So first of all, we took a look at the Wattpilot portfolio, and also the surface of the Wattpilot device. So how to read the LED ring correctly and how to read the small display correctly. Secondly, we went to the charging modes: standard mode, eco mode, next trip mode, and the flexible tariffs. We said the standard mode is some kind of fast charging mode. We could say the eco mode is a summer mode, and the next trip mode is a winter mode. And the flexible tariffs, this is a mode that is independent of the others and that you can use at any time. And thirdly, we took a look at the Wattpilot app, at the basics, I'd say, the home screen, how to read that one correctly, at the history and how to get correctly the charging data in an Excel file, and thirdly, also about the settings, the very basic settings. As always, the recording of this webinar will be forwarded to you the next days. You find other webinars and trainings on our YouTube channel, so big recommendation to go there. You find the possibility to register for face-to-face trainings here in Austria, as well as for other webinars and trainings on our homepage. And once more, I know I said it a couple of times, once more, there is another webinar on the Wattpilot with the more advanced settings, and if you're interested, I highly recommend to watch this on YouTube. If you stay with us a couple of minutes longer, then you will receive the link. I will put it into the chat of the other webinar, but you find it on YouTube anyways. I wish you all a lot of success and fun with the Wattpilot Flex and the Wattpilot Go. I hope this webinar was interesting for you. And if there are any questions left, then feel free to ask. We stay online a couple of minutes longer. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, have a nice day. Bye-bye.